We can adjust it.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. You could get ready. Well, you put your arms over, yeah, you have to stand away from them.
Right. Good morning, everybody. Sunday, fun day, exercise day is underway. It's all the grinding I've got for today. So we get started. We're going to come to the front parts of our mat. Good morning to everybody. As you bring your feet to the edges of the mats, just angle the toes into the center lines, and then take your arms and just lift them up to the side with the palms facing skyward. Use your fingers, separate your fingers widely and use them to pull the arms out and away from the center of the body. Pull the shoulders up towards the ears, and then let them slowly drip downward. And then lower the hands with the palms facing outward. So we have a lot of exterior rotation in the shoulders. Take the thumbs and try to rotate them backwards and expand through the chest. Not by squeezing the shoulder blades, but by broadening out through the chest as you rotate the thumbs backwards. Take a big inhale, salute the sun. Powerful exhale, hold down. Now, palms to shin, inhale, extend to a flat back. And remember now, we're just warming up the body, so you kind of govern where you go. What's best for you. I like you to kind of move forward so you feel a big weighting into the front part of the foot, and then rip the hips backwards. All the while, we're keeping our spine nice and long. When you find the weight mostly in the heels, drift back forward and oscillate between the front and back so you find a balance between them. As you inhale, proud out the chest. As you exhale, keep the chest proud. Let's begin to slide the hands down towards the ankles, keeping that spine nice and long. Now, while we're down here, I'd like you to drink your chin and drop it in towards your chest, and then pull your chin up and in towards the spine. Take a big inhale, proud out the chest. Powerful exhale, let the upper body pull down and relax. Pilates style, rise back up, stacking vertebrae upon vertebrae. So salute the sun. Palms face forward, inhale. Bring the thumbs together, spread the fingers nice and wide, and lower those arms of yours without bending through the elbows down to shoulder height. Now take your thumbs, rotate them towards the inwardly, and then slowly open up. So we're kind of corkscrewing the arms as we rotate inward and outward. Do it nice and slow. Try to get as much rotation as you can through the shoulder. Inhaling as you rotate externally and exhaling as you rotate internally. Do that for a couple more repetitions. On this on this repetition, turn the palms to face, draw the shoulders backwards, and then imagine you've got a little bit of pull of the shoulders themselves out and away from the earth. Let's take the heels and create an isometric activation. Try to rotate them externally. And while you keep that, I'd like you to keep the legs relatively straight and draw back the hips. We're going to raise the arms and then lower and sweep back. Give the shoulders a little bit of a break. Just creating some movements. There's some complaining behind me. I figured we had to move on a little bit. Okay, not for the bigger sins. All right, hold your arms back. Keep those fingers and thumbs spread widely. Proud out with the chest. And while you hold here, keep that external isometric activation of the heels. Bend the knees ever so slightly. Take your belly, hollow it out. As you inhale, slowly raise the arms, shoulder height, and step the toes straight forward or slightly externally. Just enough to create a little bit of an opportunity to lower your hips down by bending through the knees. So all the while, through all of this movement, we set up with the balance of weight bearing in the foot. So you try to maintain that best you can as we raise and lower the body. We stand tall, salute the sun once again. As you exhale on this next breath of yours, hold it down. As your hands alight upon the earth, step the feet back into plank. We're going to bring our feet about hip width apart. We're going to use the toes and push forward, and then use the arms and push backwards, and then draw your hips up and back to down dog. So this is a bit of tension bearing, using the core. Manage workflow as we push with the toes. We resist with the arms ever so slightly. And as we push with the arms backwards, you're resisting with feet, pushing slightly against that effort by the arms. And we're oscillating between plank, high plank, of course, and down dog. Push with the toes, resist with the arms, push with the arms, resist with the feet. All right, come back into that high plank, lower down onto your knees, hip width apart, toes tucked under in the back, hands slightly forward of the shoulders. Take your chin, once again, we're going to rotate it into the chest, and then draw it up and into the neck. As we hold on this, I'd like you to send your torso in between the arms, so we're not compromising that neck activation we created. Follow through the belly and flex through the spine, the thoracic spine, the upper spine. With the belly hollowing out, see if you can give you a little more flexion in that upper back. Now, if you ascended, if you lifted out of that arm, of those arms of yours, I'd like you to drop the chest down, keep the flexion in the spine, keep that neck relaxed, of course. Now, we're going to reverse this. Slowly begin to rotate tailbone to the sky, and slowly begin to pull the back of the head towards the sky. As we come into our cow-like position, I'd like you to also remain hollowing in your tummy. You feel a nice pull to that core. Now, engage that six pack, almost like someone's going to give you a gut punch. As you keep it engaged strongly, bring thoracic flexion. Let the head descend, but also use that neck to pull the head to the sky. Tailbone is tucking under. Draw back the hips while we hold that nice flexion. Now bring extension to the spine as you drift forward, and flexion to the spine as you drift backwards. Kind of dancing a little bit, our bear, quadruped position. Nice. Now, spread the knees wide to the edge of the mats. Come on to the tops of the feet in the back. Bring your big toes into touch. So the bottom of your legs is going to form a little V, and let the hips drop backwards towards the heels. And keeping relatively prone with that upper body. I'm going to use the chest nice and proud. I'm going to grow the spinal column and draw the chin in towards the neck. As I maintain that, I'm going to walk the fingers forward and let the upper body begin to descend earthwards. And then as I release my next breath, as you do that, let everything just relax. Forehead to the mat. Take a breath or two. And begin to walk back the hands. Toes split under. We're going to keep everything to the edges of the mat, knees to feet. The toes tucked now. I'd like you to draw back the hips towards the heels. Flex the spine and move forward. And then draw back with a straight spine. Flex spine moves forward, straight spine moves back. Couple more reps. Hold it back. And then begin to elevate the knees up off the earth and then lower them back down. Straighten out through the spine, lift through the knees, lower back down. Round out through the chest, lift the knees, lower back down. Lift the knees and pull up and back to down dog. Drive the heels earthward. Try to straighten out with those legs of yours. With legs straight. Reverse walk that plank. Inhale, extend, do a flat back. Keep the back in extension, round out that chest. Feel that further engagement of those thoracic muscles. Enjoy it. On the next breath, fold it back down. And Pilates style, hips tucked under, vertebrae by vertebrae, stacks up. I'm going to step back so I'm out of the place the fan there. Too much information. As I salute the sun, I'm going to use the fingers to pull high. The whole upper body, the shoulders are kind of drifted out of their sockets and sorts. As you reach high, take a few breaths. And as you are ready, or if you are ready, let the arms descend back down to the side. Right? All right. Everyone nice and warm? Hopefully. Take your right foot, step it forward. Remember, we talked about this, about setting up balance left to right, proper separation, and not on a tightrope. On the toes of that back foot, we're going to bring hands over hearts. We're going to interlock the fingers. We're going to draw the elbows backwards. So we keep that nice interlock. Don't over grip. Don't cut off the circulation in your fingers. It's just a nice interlocking. Now take that front leg and let the knee bend forward so it goes forward of the toe box, forward of the toes. And then slowly from the ball of that front foot, push it in and straighten the leg. And then do that a couple more times. This may challenge your balance a little bit. And let it do so, but don't topple. Just do it nice and slow. As we begin this, there's a couple of muscle groups you might feel working. Glutes and the quads. Enjoy it for a couple more reps. We're going to really focus more on the posterior chain in just a second. So as we come to the straight leg, we're going to hold on it. And then chopping through the hips, I'd like you to descend with spine straight until you feel like it's really loaded in that right cheek. When you get that load, right, body appropriate, push the arms forward. Fingers are still locked. Take your elbows, rotate them into the work, and take your thumbs and push them forward and down. So we have relatively straight arms. Now draw the shoulders back, round out the chest, keep that all active, and rotate your shoulders to the right. Notice I said shoulders, not the arms. Come back center, and do it again. Try to keep the ball of that front toe pushing to the earth as you rotate. Try to keep the spinal column nice and long. Neck is relaxed. Chin is drawing in towards the neck. Increase the cadence a little faster. In, out. See if you can challenge your balance with this. And then finally, palm it. You turn those hands back over heart and change up sides. Same setup. Opposite side. Eye the toes, heel. I didn't say this before, but make sure it's aiming up to the sky, not out left or right. Keep it centered as we begin to push the knee forward. And then using the ball, that big left toe, driving the force, the body backwards. Enjoy the silence as we work through the repetitions. We bring straightness to the leg and maintain that anchor which is the ball of that big toe of that front foot of yours. Let's load the posterior chain. Spine long, holding in, finding that optimal spot. Arms push forward. Elbows rotate to the earth as the thumbs dive earthward, forward and downward, of course. Leftward rotation. Centering and going left. Cadence is slow. We will build. Practice movements. Master and add some speed. Left and center. Take it over. And keep your balance. Next breath, center it. Turn those hands over hard, step the back foot forward. You can always shake that if you need to. Take a big inhale, powerful exhale, expand and broaden through the chest. Bring the heels out to the sides of the mat with your toes aiming towards the center line. We're gonna put a little bend in the knees. We're gonna take the belly, pull it in. We're gonna give that little low back, a nice chance to kind of lengthen out. So we're basically doing some lumbar extension, hollowing out the belly, and letting the upper back kind of flex in. I'm gonna hold on this for a couple seconds. And we're gonna straighten back out that spinal column. Gonna keep those fingers interlocked. And now, with relatively straight legs, I'd like you to try to chopstick pull the legs together. So we have an inner thigh muscle activation. Isometric, of course. As we hold on this, we're going to draw the hips backwards. And I'm going to draw forward the hips. Now, when we draw forward, I'd like you to kind of really work those six-pack muscles and engage. We're going to really try to push forward and get a little bit of that stretch movement over those hips of ours. You can use your gluteals. You might feel them activate as the hips push forward. And you're going to keep them active as we move back, but don't squeeze them. Just know that they're working. So we do a little bit of hip flexion and extension, the upper range of motion of those hips of ours. It's more of a stretch for our hip flexors when we push forward and open a little more through those hips. Keep the ball of each big toe in the mats. As you push forward, keep the legs straight, and then finally hold back. Push those arms out, rotate the elbows into the earth, spinal column long, chest is proud, chin, pull it in towards the neck. Hold the spinal stabilization we just created, and now we're going to go through a spectrum of movement all the way right, back center, all the way left. As you move, try to avoid drifting from side to side. Focus on spinal rotation, spinal stabilization. These are the small muscles, spine that help maintain some of that spinal health. Just exercising them right now. Rotators, pivoters, those small muscles that make it all feel good. Explore the range of motion without compromising the form, of course. Try to keep those hips nice and stable. Back center, relax the arms, shake them out. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. Take your elbows, pull them backwards, and aim the palms up to the sky. Step your feet in, straight forward. Kirsten's loving this class. I hear a lot of noise going on in the background. So, while we hold here now, again, we're going to create an isometric activation, but it's not the chopsticks anymore. It's the rotation of the heels externally. So you kind of feel like we're rolling out onto the sides of your foot. Elbows are back, palms are facing the sky. You're going to squeeze the elbows together in the back. And then you're going to slowly open up the forearms, just about to the sidebar. So you're going to hold on that. If it works, so you feel nice activation across the upper back, draw the chin in towards the neck, and draw the hips backwards. Now, without compromising that arm position, I like you to pull down and turn back up. So this is a version of good mornings that we do. Kind of like that proverbial bird that dips its beak into the water glass. That's you right now. Enjoy a drink or two. Keep the legs straight. Keep all of that upper body activation. Realize as we move up and down, you might notice that the load in the shoulders increases as you pull. That's just those muscles are working harder. We're exercising, becoming a little stronger, a little more engaged. Couple more reps. Your posture will thank me later. We rise up, stand up tall, put the arms out, salute the sun, fold it all the way down, step it back to plank. Nice. Now, slightly extended plank. If you need to be on knees, you can be on the knees. This is not about punishing the body, it's about exercising it. So, if you can, step your hands slightly forward of the shoulders. Now, take your knees, bend them, take your pubis, try to pull it up in towards your belly button. So you have a little bit, two things going on. Lumbar extension and thoracic flexion. So the lower spine extending, the upper spine flexing. Now, keep that spinal activation real, and now drive the heels back straight through the legs. Push the ball of each big toe into the earth and slowly pull the hips backwards and upwards to down dog. Spiral your thumbs towards the earth. Keep that chin pulling in towards the neck, and slowly from the toes push forward back into the plank. Lower the knees to the ground. Great job. Great job, everybody. Loving it. Now, I'm just going to grab a little bit of water, take a little bit of a break. Cheers, everybody. Happy Sunday, fun day. You know, someone was drinking ahead of me. Good stuff. All right. In our quadruped position, we're going to find separation of hands, knees, and feet equal. You're going to take your right foot and you're going to push it directly backwards to bring some straightness into that right leg. You're going to feel a little more weighted to the right hand. So we're going to add a little bit to this. So let's walk your hands a little more forward to shoulders. And we're going to use our heel, that right foot, to drive it backwards. And you're going to try to pull the back of the knee to the sky. Now, while you hold that, I'd like you to take your left hand and sweep it out to the side of the body, palm facing to the earth. Take your left shoulder, raise it up to the sky. Hold on this for a couple breaths. While we're holding here, turn your thumb skyward. On the next breath, as you release it, return back to the start. Set up the opposite side. Left foot slides backwards, heel drives to the earth. Back of the left knee pulls skyward. Right hand shoots out to the side of the body. Right shoulder opens to the sky. Try to use the fingers to draw the arm long and almost like you're pulling the arm out of the shoulder socket. Lower back down. Great work. Opposite side. Set it up. Start it up. And switch it up. So we're going to walk this from side to side. As you do, you might notice that your body wants to move sideways with the movement, but I'd like you to try to keep stable that spinal column and hips, so you're not transitioning or translating from side to side with them, just creating nice spinal rotation. One more repetition each side. And then when that's done, come back to all fours. All right. Cat, cow. Cat and cow. Move. Sound effects and everything today, folks. All right. When you've done that, come down onto the earth. Smooth transitions, I call it. Have a seat on your ass. I'm going to grab a little more water. All right, moving right along, folks. Now, we're gonna come into what we did, I'd like to do, which is basically help to create more muscle activation in our medial leg muscles, our inner thigh muscles. You'll notice that I'm exhibiting behavior that I normally exhibit during the day, which is what I call panda. Pandaing the body, like a panda. Belly observes, spinal flexion happens, shoulders drift forward, head falls towards the earth. Not a good look. It's a good look if you're a panda, but for human beings, nah, not so much. So, I'm going to take the origin, the genesis. The issue is generally with pelvic stabilization. So I like to try to use your hands, walk forward, and try to pull the pelvic girdle up so you can find the sit bones, S-I-T. It's the ischium. It's the little bony protuberances on the bottom of your pelvis that allow you to kind of have stable sitting. Now, you need to get some flesh out of the way, do what you need, find them best you can. Now you have that. I like to bring the extension to the spinal column. And now as we continue to extend that spinal column, I'm going to draw the chin, grow the neck. And as that whole spinal column grows, we're going to drift backwards onto the sit bones and find the posture. Our body doesn't necessarily crave for it. It's not a normal feeling because we've let it move out of this position over years of not being in the position. So this may be abnormal feeling going to work on this movement. So this is stack pose, basically. As we sit here, I'm going to start to ask you to, draw your shoulders up to your ears. You're going to take a little bend in the elbows, probably about 90 degrees. And as the shoulders lift to the sky, we're going to use the elbows to pull backwards. Now, this is not necessarily optimal because we might be compressing the shoulder blades. So I like you to also try to grab out the chest. And imagine there's springs on the shoulders pulling them off the center line. And as you hold on this, enjoy this for a second, just enduring a little bit. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement in. So elbows pull back, chest expands. Try not to compress backwards to the shoulders. Don't squeeze them. Pull them away from each other. Now keep the shoulder blades pulling away from each other. Serve the arms out and draw them back in. So we're just articulating out and in, palms facing the sky. Now we're going to add a little more movement into this. As we push out, I'd like you to rotate interiorly by dropping the thumbs. And as we pull back, I'd like you to rotate exteriorly as you open the palms. Do that for a couple of repetitions. And I like corkscrewing in a staff pose. 3 keys allowed in this staff pose. And a corkscrew opens the palm. Okay, back to you. I know. Stick with the boots. All right, pull back, palms facing the sky, Pilates style. Tuck under now, pelvic girdle. Bring the lower spine, and then each vertebrae, middle and upper spine to the mat. When you arrive on the mat, make sure your feet haven't splayed open. Keep the toes aiming up at the sky. The back of your arms, back of the upper arms should be on the mat. Palms facing backwards with a 90-degree bend in your elbow. Take your head and rotate it towards the right. And come back center and rotate to the left. You may feel that one side is a little harder to move through than the other, or you may feel equal on both. Now, calm the head, look straight up, step your feet in towards the spinal column. You'll notice that the low back may be able to rotate down onto the mat. This is a bit of pelvic rocking. So I'd like you to try to do that. And you can simply try to pull the pubis back towards the chin. I'll rotate it upward and feel a little bit of activation in the six-pack muscle
Now, while you keep that all active, I like you to take your shoulder blades and flatten them, step them out, keep the chest proud, and arms haven't changed yet. So I'm going to keep this now as you step the right foot out along the earth. That's going to give a nice extension to that right hip. Take the calf of the right leg and push it into the mat without bending through the knee, right? So I'd like you to take the luteal and try to push, pull really back the leg to the mat. You might get more of the heel than the calf, that's fine. But try not to bend through the knee. And as you pull on this, I'd like you to start to squeeze that right cheek, that right gluteal. See if you can drive that right heel a little farther away from the body, just to deepen out that stretch. And then relax everything, step it back in, and set up the opposite side. So you might wonder what this has to do with the medial muscles. It hasn't got there yet, so just be patient. All right. Try to push the heel, calf, whatever you got, into the back of the, back of it, into the mat. And now take the heel and push it away from the hip. While you keep that push down, so it's not one for the other, it's both together. And then step it back in. And then rock the pelvis, see if you can get that low back skin connected to the mat, and then step both feet out. Now, if the low back lifts off the mat, that's fine, but as best you can, try to keep it down. Take the heels of each foot and just slide them in inch or two, nothing more. Just a slight bend in the knee. Now, you set up by taking the arms and turning the palms face forward, cupping through the fingers, and placing those down as far away from the upper body as you can. As they hit the earth, the tips are the touch point, right? Not the palms, just the tips. Take the elbows and rotate the elbows in towards the earth. Now, let's focus down to the lower body. Your feet, bring flexion to them. Feel those shin muscles. Be highly active, lots of flexion. Keep that flexion as you rotate the thighs and the big toes towards each other. The toes touch, it's fine. If they don't touch, that's fine also. I just want that inward rotation. Now, squeeze the thighs together and then relax the squeeze. Flex the feet a little more. Keep the feet flexing. Big flexion effort with the feet. To add to this, squeeze the thighs. So we still haven't compromised that upper body position, right? We have tips on the earth. We have broad chests. We have the low back pulling towards the earth as best we can. We have that big squeeze, muscles trembling going on with the thighs. And yet we have that strong degree of flexion in the feet. And then relax everything. Keep the slight bend you have in the knees. And heel. Use the heels as hinges and open up. And then rotate back. And open up. A couple more times. I didn't say relax the arms. Keep those tips of the fingers touching. Chest still proud. Down. Toes aim up the sky. Big flexion in those feet. Rotation internally. Squeeze those thighs. Big flex in the feet. Give me some more. Squeeze those thighs a little harder. Push into the heels and see if you can create a little bit of elevation on that booty. If it doesn't go high, don't worry. Just work on pushing those heels. But don't forgo the flexion of the feet and the squeezing of the thighs, and then relax everything. Roll open the legs with the heels as the hinge, and do that in and out a couple times. And then straighten the legs, point the toes, sweep the arms all the way back, and use fingers and toes to pull through the center of the body everything long. Fill those lungs with air, and as you exhale that, bring flexion to the feet, bring the palms to face each other over the chest. Drop your chin into the chest and begin to peel one vertebrae after the other up. Keep the chin tucking to the chest. Keep the spine in flexion and extend the hands, diving through the feet. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Walk it back into that staff pose. Go to Panda and roll out and up onto the sit bones. Grow the spinal column, kind of training your body how to sit properly or more effectively. It's no proper thing. We all have different body parts and shapes. As we get nice and tall with the staff pose, we're nice and secure. With that spinal column, we've been exercising today. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. Take your elbows into the rib cage. Open the palms, face the sky. Draw the elbows backwards. Proud up through the chest. Now, bring the wrists towards the rib cage or on the rib cage. This is inward rotation. So we're going to sweep the elbows outwards. You can see how the shoulders dive forward, right? So this is full, proud through the chest and sweep the elbows backwards, exterior rotation. And as we do this a few more times, I want you to be less pressed for the neck. I want you to try to grow the neck and the head as we rotate internally and externally. Try to pull high to the sky the head. And let's do that one more time. So we're just really using those exterior rotating muscles. Let the arms fall, shake it out. Take your right leg, sweep it backwards. We did this yesterday, but we're going to do it today. It's such a great exercise, and I know someone loves it. All right, so
Tell them what it is.
it's 90 degrees and 90 degrees. It's geometry of our bodies. Okay. So let's come down to start on our forearm. I put my left leg forward with a 90-degree bend in the knee. The right leg roughly 90 degrees for the hip socket or pubis area and 90 degrees out of that knee. We got all of the 90s, so it's like 90, 90, 99. Got lots of math. Now, forearm. You can put some cushioning underneath if you need it. We sink into this, we're going to missing some of the best part of this exercise. So I like you to grow the spinal column like you're almost lifting out of the hips. Take the right hand, reach it up to the sky. Beautiful. Now, hold high. And then let the arms sweep straight forward. So we're rotating the spinal column, but we're also got a little bit of rotation for the hips. So you should feel the outside back part of the hip. Have a nice little pull going on. Hold on this for a second. And then we're going to slowly lift the arm all the way back up so it's right back over. And then we're going to slowly roll down, rowing the spinal column as the hand descends to the earth. And raising back up. Now, your knees may have different elevation than mine. It's fine. This is all part of a process. So enjoy it however it looks on your body. Couple more repetitions up and down. Reach long. Reach high. Let's hold up and come up onto our palm. Take the fingers and aim them away from the body. Take that shoulder. Remember, we practiced this earlier and rotate it externally. Take your right ear and drop it in to your right shoulder. And then right up the head. And then drop it again. So our scalene and our other neck muscles, your scapula, a nice little stretch from back to the head up center. And now we're going to bring the focus back down to the hips. So we're going to walk our 90-90s. We're going to rotate the shoulder back, bring that hand, the right arm behind us, and flip it over to the opposite side. And flip it back. Let's move this out of the way.
So you can get it like that. There we go. And just keep going. So this is with assistance of the arms. This is one of these moves where the progression is you use the arms less and less. So you can try it without the arms and always keep them in a spot where you can bring them back into use if you need them. Oh. A lot of our smaller muscles that interact with the hips. Gluteals on the side of the body, potential fascial lata, all get abused when we sit. This is a really good mobility exercise. And it really helps to kind of recruit these small muscles that help give us spinal stabilization and they function better. All right, I'm going to roll it back and switch up sides. Down onto the forearm, lifting eye, using those fingers that are spread widely to pull high, and then I'm going to sweep forward. The sweeping isn't just like rotating down the arm. I like you to take the shoulder and like pull it out and away from the body as the hand sweeps down. You might notice how that affects the pull on that back right side hip when you pull the shoulder forward and down. Couple more repetitions. And then we're going to walk it out. Sweep it forward. Rotate it back up and start to walk. Oh. I first started, I'm not saying I'm great at doing this exercise, but when I first started doing it, it was almost impossible. So if you find it impossible, just consider that a starting point. And then try every once in a while to forgo the use of the arms. Just add a little more load into those muscles. And I'm going to do one more. Oh. And back, you can tell you're fatiguing when you start to lose form. When we get back, we're going to come all the way to the feet to the front of the mat. I'm going to use the hammies and slowly bring it down. Plant my left foot by the hips, take my right foot up and onto that left thigh. And I'm going to begin to find a little bit of mobility back to the hips. Taking the right knee and rotating it out. Now, you can assist with the hands if you like, but if you activate the muscle to create that exterior rotation, you'll get a better benefit from this movement. So, rotating outwardly and inwardly, side of the foot, just like a hinge, the door. All right, now keep the exterior rotation in that right knee. Take your hands and bring the left leg in a little closer and wrap the hands around on that left hammy as you work to pelvically move. Find that low back skin touching the mat, and then keep that touching the mat. And now we're going to bring a lot of flexion to that left hip. While we keep that low back on the mat, we're going to draw that left leg into the body. We get a little more depth and then relax that. Switch up sides. Anchoring that left and beginning the movement out and in. Might feel like, oh, I feel like that muscle kind of worked a little bit, the muscle on that outer hip, and that's true. We were working it hard today.
All right, I'm gonna keep the exterior rotation in that left leg as we pull the right leg in and wrap it. Find that pelvic rotation, it's basically front to back movements. So we've rotated it upwardly and inwardly to get that low back skin on the mat, and we begin hold that in place as we pull the right leg into the body. So we're not arching to that low back at all, or any part of the back. We're keep it nice, elongated, stable. Pull it in a little deeper. And then let it relax. Now, step the legs all the way out. A nice lengthening for those hip flexors as you sweep the arms backwards. Point the toes. And then use your fingers and toes to pull opposite directions. Find as much length as you can for the body. Corkscrew the arms and open and close the legs with pointed toes. Palm them, bring flexion to the feet. Bring the arms back over the chest with the palms facing, drop the chin, peel each vertebrae up. Guide it down. Extend it. Inhale, extend into a flat back. And as you walk your hands back to our staff pose, bring it into the staff meeting by bringing hands over heart and let me. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste. Okay.
There's the gang.